But our next panel is being led by my dear friend, the CEO of Apos Advisors, the CEO of Apos Advisors, Vanessa Edmonds. She is going to talk, lead us through a panel on the 360-degree view of the customer. So Vanessa, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thanks so much for that introduction. My name again is Vanessa Edmonds. Hi from Atlanta. You know, fall doesn't officially start till September 1st, but we're having very nice fall weather here, and it's my favorite season. So I'm in a really good mood today and excited to be here with these panelists. I'm going to go ahead. I have been asked to introduce them. I'm going to throw them a curveball and ask each of them to introduce themselves with their favorite quote and why that quote is their favorite at this time. So Deepak, let's go ahead and start with you. Deepak Garg from SEW.
Thank you, Vanessa. This is Deepak Garg, CEO, Chairman for Smart Energy Water. My most important and favorite quote is, we as SEW is in the business of connecting billions of people to the energy and utility industry. And to do that, through the platform, we are educating, empowering, and pretty much going and engaging these billions of people to the industry. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Rudy, I haven't seen your quote ahead of time. I'm excited for the surprise.
Well, yeah, I'm going to keep it pretty basic. My name is Rudy Garza. I'm the Chief Customer Engagement Officer at CPS Energy. We're the largest municipally owned electric and gas utility in the country. We have the privilege of serving over 1.2 million meters in the San Antonio and Greater Bexar County area here in South Central Texas. We have a dynamic, fast-growing community. Folks are moving to San Antonio as part of a San Antonio to Austin greater metropolitan area every day, and we welcome them with open arms. At CPS Energy, you know, we think about our customer at the forefront of everything we do. It's part of what we call our people first culture, which really brings together a focus on our employees, our community, being a community-owned asset, and of course the customers that we serve. The quote I'm gonna focus on really is from my dynamic President and CEO, Ms. Paula Gold Williams. You know, when she talks about people first, her focus always is on our people first culture here at CPS Energy requires that every decision we make is viewed through the lens of the customer. And so that's something I think about every day in the strategies that my team and I are implementing here at CPS Energy, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And Liz, last but not least, and only a last on this question, do you want to introduce yourself and share your quote?
Thanks, Vanessa. I'm Liz Jambor. I'm the manager of data analytics and business intelligence at Austin Energy. I'm just up the road from Rudy. So if you're in San Antonio, come on up to Austin. We'd love to have you there too. Austin Energy serves almost 500,000 customers in the Austin and Travis County areas. So we serve Austin proper and then some of the surrounding areas. I think, our tagline for our company is customer driven and community focused. But I think when I was asked this question, because of the time we're in right now, the quote I've been living by and trying to get my team to live by and my peers to live by is give yourself some space and grace. This is a time our customers aren't used to. They have greater expectations of us to take care of them. And so we just all need to take an extra moment, an extra breath, and know we're all going to get through this together.
Thank you for that. Okay, so we're going to jump into the first question. So traditionally, as we all know, the utility business model has focused on providing safe, reliable, and affordable electricity, natural gas, clean water, and wastewater, and accurately billing our customers for what they use. And while that is a lot and a difficult thing to do, that was really all that they expected of us. And then we had these customer-obsessed companies come along. People like to note Amazon, Costco, Chick-fil-A, Harley Davidson, if you're a motorcycle rider. Came along and they gave our customers all this information, choice, control, ease of use, and now we're being expected to do the same. And so as we look towards becoming customer-centric businesses, Liz, do you want to start us off on this one about sharing what that looks like and what that's going to look like at Austin Energy in the future?
So for us to be customer centric, it's to build more choice in a regulated market. So we're owned by the city and we operate as a regulated utility, which means customers can't choose a different utility. But what we can build within the utility is choice. And so we can build choice of rates, choice of payment schedules, choice of programs they can participate in. And we can also build that operation that constantly and successfully answers the question, what's in it for me? That the customer, and putting ourselves in the shoes of the customer, always is asking, well, what's in it for me? Why should I even care? We're not the product that they always see at the grocery store. They don't even think about us unless their bill's too high or their air conditioner in the summer's not working. And so we have to constantly just be operating in the background successfully, but ready to offer them choice when they're wanting it, but not too many choices. Remember the Prego test, and then partnering with them so that they know we've always got something for them. That's our goal.
Nice, thank you. So Rudy, how about you? What does that mean for your utility?
Well, I mean, if you think about the industry, over the years, traditionally utilities have been kind of plain Jane, right? You got a residential rate, you got maybe a small commercial rate, and you've got, a few options for, the very largest of your customers. And we've probably seen more disruption in our industry over the last 10 years, consistent with a lot of the ways that customer expectations change from industry to industry. So, for us, we want to meet the customer where they are. I got 1.2 million customers, electric and gas, that all have different expectations. We have some customers that might want to buy nothing but solar power. Other customers might want to buy nothing but wind power. We've got customers interested in batteries. We've got customers that want to build their own solar systems, and contribute to our distributed generation on the system. We got some customers that don't ever want to be out. They might be willing to pay you, a little extra for resiliency service, to ensure that, that they're never out. And then we got some really big players that have a national, sustainability strategy that they want to be able to apply to their infrastructure here in San Antonio. So, in today's business, the big data companies, the Googles of the world, the Amazons of the world, they figured it out. They're giving customers exactly what they want when they want it. And I agree with Liz. We have to offer, the semblance of optionality, in what's a regulated market for us. And so that's what we're trying to do here at CPS Energy.
Nice, thank you. So Deepak, you have more than 300 utility customers in the US, or is it in North America? Is that correct?
It's globally. Yeah.
Globally, you
Yep.
do. Congratulations. Do you want to share, in addition to CPS and Austin, some of the companies that are really getting this customer centricity thing right?
No, for sure. Thank you. And I want to first of all thanks to Liz and Rudy. First, most important thing is they both represent one of the most important industry. The industry without which we cannot live. The commodity, the service. I'm sorry, I know that the utilities doesn't go and market themselves and tell how much important they are, like Amazon of the world and Uber of the world. I think what we are realizing the fact is, as a platform, we want to do, I think Rudy talked about Amazon figured out, other people figured out this tech company, how you take those learning, and ensure that as a customer experience platform, you can create a great value, irrespective of Liz was talking about making the payment offerings, giving them the programs under the regulated, unregulated umbrellas, make sure customer friction is less. Customers see a utility in the same context they see Amazon providing them the offer, thinking about them, providing the channels which customer wants to connect with. Because I think why the other retails or the insurance company and banking company, what we learned from them is they are able to offer a lot of these services with the multiple channels. It's not about, yes, I can give you web, I can give you mobile apps, I can give you chatbots, I can give you anytime I'm available to you 24/7 to serve you. And I think that mindset is really driving big utility companies, IOUs, or the municipalities, our clients like Dukes of the world, SDG&E and SWG, they actually combined serve maybe 30, 40 million people in your state. When they are putting this platform in the hand of the customer, and I want to share this, like we get more excited when our utilities customer CX platform is getting 4.9 rating in the customer experience, then the Uber is getting trending 4.4 or 4.2. And we as a company, we, thanks to the Uber, so thank you for pushing us to bring in that experience, and push us so that we can offer to the utilities and the customers, so that this bridge between utilities and customer is narrowed down, and customer then understand how much important role utilities play by providing frictionless, uninterrupted, 24/7 water, power, and gas. And I'm sorry, I get overexcited about this. I get too much passionate about this, but this is very important to the globally world should know how much important work utilities do. The people like Rudy and Liz and beyond this, and a lot of other utilities, kudos to all the utilities globally. In this tough time, we were really thinking about grocery, we were thinking about everything, but we were not thinking about if we go home and we have no power, there's no internet, we cannot work from home. If we have no power, no water, what are we going to do? So I feel that this is truly, it always been a customer-centric organizations, but definitely they didn't market it. And we are helping as a good tech company, narrow down the gap,
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So now let's pivot a little bit to the reason we're on the call, and that's customer data. The more we know about our customers, the better we can serve them. And a lot of the folks on the call have customer data just like you do. Let's talk about some sources of data. Like, where are some interesting, cool places that you're getting data? Do you want to start us out on that one, Liz?
Sure. So our data, we say we will take data from anywhere. I will never say no to any kind of data. So our basis of data is premise data, so it's our billing data, but we have been able to attach to that our tax assessor data, our census data, our program data, our segmentation data. We are starting to attach health data to that so that we can look at the impacts of our programs, our weatherization programs on incidents of health. We are looking at the marketing data so that we can, instead of, and we used to just blanket the city, everybody got the same piece of marketing, it didn't matter who you were. And now what we can do is walk, not literally, but walk down a street and pick the homes that need that piece of marketing and figure out what message each of those homes need. And because of that kind of taking all of that data to figure out who the customer is and what's the best message for them, we took a 30-year legacy program that was basically flatlining and had a 25% increase in participation in 1 year because we really focused on who was the customer participating and where were those same customers, and only sent a message they would listen to and at the right time. Because we have an ordinance in town that says when you sell your house, you have to have it inspected and for energy efficiency. And then we were targeting the buyer right then to say, hey, do these energy efficiency measures. Nope, not going to work. People are too busy unpacking boxes and doing things like this. So again, using the data and the time people are in homes, we found out that between 18 and 24 months was the perfect time to market to those new home buyers, and again, saw pickup in the program. So yeah, we'll take any kind of data you got and put it together and do something with it.
25% is significant. Congratulations.
Oh, it was huge. It was
exciting.
huge. And I think it blew the program's minds, really, because they were just hoping for, like maybe a 5% or maybe an 8%. And then we got the analysis back and it was 25%. They were like, what? And then that's kind of where my team just took off as far as helping other teams, because that word of mouth is like, they did this for us. And so we've been able to do it for other programs, but that was the starting point of putting the right data together to tell the right story.
Nice.
Yeah, it's exciting. I love it.
Yeah, very fun. Rudy, what about at CPS Energy? What about your data?
Yeah, the availability of data has changed the game in our whole industry. 8 years ago, we started down the road of implementing our new AMI technology here in San Antonio. Over the last 3 years since that infrastructure has been in place, we've gotten more data in the last 3 years than we did in the previous 30, because the information that we have now about how our customers are using energy and what some of their habits are that create a less efficient usage has really ramped up our ability to offer specific products through our Save for Tomorrow energy plan to customers based on what their meters are telling us. And that, that's kind of the traditional, strategies of the utility industry, but we're using data in so many other, cool ways now. One of my internal mentees to CPS Energy leads our data analytics effort. And he, the other day we were on a call and he pulls up, we started this project a long time ago where we take state of Texas data on trees and vegetation across the state and apply it to our vegetation management strategy to see if, we can overlay where the worst areas of our territory are for vegetation management. And just the cool, processes that they put in place to use data that's readily available out in the data sphere, to apply to our business, is just really unbelievable. So now we're using data to help us, really maximize the amount of funds we have available for vegetation management. We stopped disconnecting customers very early in the pandemic process back in March once we realized what was going on, and pivoted, to think about what the impact is going to be on our customers. But we've developed this really articulate, algorithm using data that's available. There's economic data, there's pandemic, health related data. There's data coming out of our local government authorities, and we put it into this this model that's going to help us determine when we think the time is right, to resume normal business. So, we're not going to arbitrarily pick a date saying, okay, October 1, we're going to start disconnecting again. We're going to look at the economic conditions of our community, overlay that with our health condition of our community, and then we're going to make a thoughtful transition back to normal business. And the only way you do that is if you're using all the data available to put it all together.
Thank you. So Deepak, I know you have some strong feelings that not all data is created the same, and not all people handling the data are as good as some other folks. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
No, for sure. I think both Liz and Rudy made a very important point, which is definitely the data, which is already there with the utilities, a very, very core, is the gold mine, for them to operate their business best. But same time, when you connect that data with the outside data sets available, third-party data and all, make a lot of sense. Where we will go is as a very focused industry platform for the customer experience and mobile workforce. What we try to do is we work with the utilities to ensure that the data and the use cases which impact their operations, because they are in the business of reliability and sustainability. What use cases truly provide them operational efficiency, the reliability and sustainability, and how you take that data and the value to give incentive and convenience and frictionless experience to the customer and your workforce, because this is all triangle and the data is right there. And I think we all talked about it for good reason, is human-driven data, system-driven data for good reasons, and all third-party data. If you combine all that, for us to process all across is not easy. We have a great visualization tools, which in last decade create a great impact on the industry. What we're doing is now with that is how you take that data, which is really use case driven, create the value for the utilities and the customers and beyond, value that data in such a fashion so that you can create a very deep learning out of that, create a machine learning out of this, and create an algorithm to leverage human intelligence and AI. So we are not going to be ever say that we are the AI and machine learning company. We feel that with the millions of years of human intelligence has to combine. It's a hybrid model. And we've seen a great success by just talking about AI or analytics or data. It doesn't get help. The person, the human intelligence play the big part with the AI. And we've seen a great success. When, to your point, the list said that, when proactively, I tell the customer from 8 months to 13 months, I will send a notification, hey, you should be doing energy auditing. I know, welcome to the new home in Austin Energy territory, and you should do that and save. These are the options available for your saving because you're living in a single family home or apartment. And it's customers say, wow, now utilities are really know what I'm trying to do. And they're not trying to market something to me. They're trying to serve me here.
Right.
They're trying to give me an offer because they're community-based, they're state-based. This is regulated by, this is the heartbeat of a country. We cannot be Google. I'm not making a big comment on that. We cannot be Google, we cannot be Facebook for all the great reasons. Our data is very, very, very important, is our customer data. It's the utilities operation data, it's a great data. And what we take the value out of that is with the tech, we are trying to do that.
Very good. Okay, so we've talked about some of the opportunities around data. Let's talk about some of the challenges. And the ones, we hear about often are data lakes, internal silos where data is not being shared, sort of redundant work happening. Rudy, we'll go ahead and start with you this time. How are you dealing with some of those challenges?
Well, quite frankly, you're right. Even internally to CPS Energy, our generation division would, pull certain data sets that was useful to them in a certain way. Our market operations folks, had their own ways to access data. And then our electric and gas operations teams that actually run the distribution systems, had their own mechanisms. And what we found was we got to get, our act together and put a comprehensive, data strategy together that will allow us, to all access information that is important to us in similar ways, from the same data set, so that, we cut down on the opportunities, for misreporting because, one group is doing it one way, another group is doing it another way. And so, this is probably one of the largest opportunities that I see that we have ahead of us. We're so early on in the data, game that we got a lot of work to catch up to the Netflixes of the world. I saw it on the Netflix, it puts the exact show I want to watch right in front of me, and I have to watch it right then and there because they figured me out so quickly. We're nowhere near, that level of sophistication yet in the utility industry, but ultimately I see a future where, where that's the reality. The fact of the matter is, at CPS Energy, our customers are utilizing our online manage my account system well better than the national average. We're around 70% of our customers, both residential and C&I, are already logging on to get access to the data that we're putting in front of them. So it's a huge opportunity, and we're working to get there as quickly as we can.
So Deepak, I was going to ask a similar question and then throw one at you, a curveball. I really like this idea of this data strategy that Rudy mentioned. And, do you have thoughts around, seeing what other utilities are doing? How does somebody like Rudy go down the path of creating a data strategy?
Sure, and I think that's a very important. I think for us being a partner with the industry, the most important thing is what we learn from globally from all the utilities, and that strategy or intelligence about the data, how we can share that with when the Rudy is putting the plan together and saying, I have the challenge X and I have the challenge Y. The good news is the challenges are not unique. 85% challenge across the globe is same. And for us as a part of the platform play, we want to make sure is the data strategy is on one side, the use cases on another side. The intelligence of the data is the more core important thing. Because if we are not able to extract the intelligence out of the data and not able to connect why I'm collecting and why I'm producing. Everybody, I think the good thing happened is in last 10 years is the AWS or the or Azure of the world and Google of the world, they put all the clouds and it's not as expensive 10 years back. But now problem is because it is easy accessible, everybody putting more and more data without knowing in the cloud and try to access that and putting algorithms, and it's become a kind of a fashion statement. Yes, we have a lot of data, we are doing AI and we are doing everything. What we're trying to do is with the utilities to be partnered with it is make sure we can extract the intelligence and connect these silos. I think Vanessa, you made a very good point is the data lakes are great. Silos are not great, and a point is how you to extract the value and connect the dot from a customer to the assets, to the workforce, to the really and safety, to the reliability. We are in the business of demand and supply. How we make sure is the utilities have the proactiveness and better forecasting available to every level, residential, CNI, SMB, anywhere. If they have a more construction going on, Austin is growing a lot, San Antonio is growing a lot, how I do a predictive modeling so that I no need to spend and I can better offer to customer to reduce that load rather than asking customer to put more and more equipment at home, how I can intelligently can do and take a decision and provide the decision capability to the customer so that they are engaged real time with me to become the part of the ecosystem rather than I'm still using the traditional way, which is great. What is the new coming up? So that's connectivity we are doing to ensure that in the platform, everything for the utilities are connected. There's no silos. And all that connection is a use case basis. It's not just because we want to connect the customer data to asset data, to the workforce data, to the weather data. If we really see that, it's complex, but it's easy when you take it a use case to go all the way to the starting to the end and come back and say, yes, it's create the value for the utility and the customer. And this is where we feel, I don't want to put up word success, but I feel that we're able to truly solve the problem rather than keep talking about the problem, keep talking about the problem is huge, customer data is huge. Maybe we're going to take a lot of data, we will go to the pilots. I'm sorry, I think we are not in the business of pilot. People need fast food and people need, and when I say fast food, healthy fast food, and for good reasons. At the same time, they want short-term strategy which connect and achieve them the long term. You don't want to do something which you can throw it out outside. And we've seen the industry become more mature. It was before just pick it up one data set or one use case and try to use that product side. Now it's become end-to-end. Who can bring me the end-to-end capability? And what we've seen is in the industry, people start talking and people try to put the things together, but it's a complex. People don't understand by putting 10 different people and the companies together and calling as a one platform is not the play. Utilities really need the people who are committed. So that's why for us, the data is not about data science. We have electric engineers, we have distribution engineers with us, we have a customer experience people, we have the tech to tech, the AI, you think about, we are the truly feel we need industry expertise to the depth vertically deep, and we need the tech vertically deep to combine that. Otherwise, it's not going to be successful. And that's why we feel this triangle has to connect the dots. Sorry, I took a little bit more time.
No problem. So Liz, how about at Austin Energy? What kind of challenges are you facing or have you overcome?
So I think the biggest thing was just, and especially when we started with AMI, was the fear of big data. And that phrase just had people like, nope, we can't do this with big data. And I'm like, we don't have big data. Amazon has big data. Your bank has big data. Netflix has big data. I mean, Netflix, if Rudy and I like the same show, we will not necessarily see the same thumbnail picture based on all the other shows that we like. That's how much Netflix is watching what we're watching. And we don't even do that as a utility. So it's getting over the aspect of that there's big data. We have our data, and how do we use that? So one of the things that we first started to do, and is breaking down the silos, was build cross-functional teams, because we have people that can extract the data, but they don't understand the data at all. And we have people that can't extract it, but they understand the data. So they know what should be coming out. They know what that data should look like. They know what numbers to expect and things like that. And so when you partner them together, it works that much better. So you build these teams of people that know all the different parts. And then with that, you partner the right kind of tools. So we're moving, and we get, as they call them, the keys next week, to officially the Azure platform. And my guys are so excited because we'll be doing research that we've just imagined. But it also means bringing people along, and it means stepping out off of that ledge sometimes and being almost the field of dreams. If you build it, they'll come. You know, being willing to be the guinea pig and fail over and over and over, and then finally get something to work, because we are in an industry that doesn't like risk. And doing things in the digital world takes risk. To try these new things, the things that we've never done before, to move our data that we try to protect, that's actually our customers' data, into the cloud, it's a risk. To not have the protections around it, to not have the training for people so that they know how to handle it, all of that's a risk. And we are a super risk-averse industry, which we should be. But we also have built a data governance council. So now we have all the subject matter experts on all the data sets come together once a month and talk about, how do we share our data? How do we make sure that when I say customer, you mean the same thing as customer? So we end up with the same accounts, number of accounts, so that we're speaking the same language. When we say date, which date do we mean? So that we start internally having the same language about our data. And then we can start sharing that data successfully, so that when someone is extracting it, much like Rudy and Deepak talked about, the same extracts come out and the same data comes out, and we're not in conflict internally with what we're doing with our data.
So my friend Chris has reminded me that I need to double task, because there are some questions from people that are listening in.
Mm-hmm.
And he was nice enough to copy them into the chat for me. So are you using, and I'm not sure who this question was for, but if you could, are you using high frequency data coming from AMI to propose new services and energy efficiency insights? Sorry, even with my glasses, I don't read very well. Are you using high frequency data?
So I'll start. I'm not sure we've gotten to that level of sophistication yet. We are using data, usage data. What we started internally is kind of a gamification program where, you know, customers know how their usage stacks up to their neighbors. I have a good friend of mine who pays a lot of attention to these opportunities. And every time she's not number one in her neighborhood, she calls me upset saying, hey, you know, I'm not number one anymore. What do I need to do, you know, to get back to the top, you know, and we can present, you know, weatherization, energy efficiency, you know, programs to customers who are being proactive about it. So, you know, so we're getting there. I don't think we're as far along as we need to be, but the data certainly presents opportunities for matching up our energy efficiency program offerings to customers based on what we're seeing, you know, their usage patterns look like. So in our service territory, we are moving in that direction very quickly.
So at Austin Energy, we are, I don't know that we're using high frequency data for program development or to program identification. We do look at load shapes to see who's out of the norm for either their tapestry segment or their housing type. We look at usage patterns by program to see that the program actually is having an impact that we've said it has. We look at, we've done some studies on our EV rates to see that people are actually participating in the rate as it's designed, and is it having an impact, and did it have an impact on their usage pattern? So we're looking at it pre and post the start of their rate. We're also looking at usage patterns for people currently that are in arrears or having payment plans due to COVID, so that we can see what the usage patterns are changing for them. So we do a lot of load shape and usage pattern analysis with our AMI data. But I did make a note to check, are we doing anything with high frequency data?
Nice. Okay, I have another question, and then we'll go to our next planned question. This one says, oh, darn it, my eyes. What can we give to a CNI customer who is planning to set up solar on his own, his or her, I'm going to throw that in there, and will reduce big demand portion for a utility? Oh, maybe that's a question for you, Deepak. What can you do for a CNI customer? Do you see that question in the chat?
No, no, I don't see it, but yes, from a platform standpoint, as I think I can just address that, a customer of a utility is at the same time as a residential customer or CNI customer or a landlord or an agency or SMB. You need to have a persona for everybody. You need to have a value for everybody. Everybody should be able to connect with the utilities the way they want to look the data. And that representation of data is intelligence, because when we look the customer, a residential customer, they are looking the X and Y and Z use cases and intelligence from the platform. When I look the CNI customer, they are looking power factor, power quality and all. How I make sure is, if they are to a point, if they're setting up their own storage, if they are having their own solar, what the demand profile is going to look like. And that intelligence, I should be able to give it to the utilities, and that should be a bridge so that their rates, their DR programs, energy efficiency program can design across, because if they're a CNI customer, they definitely focus, they have account managers to plan for. But at the same time, as a digital platform, they should be able to see and able to do what an account manager do right now for them, and I think that's a self-serve. So as a SCW, for us, customer experience platform is multi-channel, web, mobile, IVR, chatbot, residential, CNI, SMB, agencies, landlords, any persona you think about it. We want to make sure the customer, when they get in to the Austin Energy or CPS or Duke or SDG&E or SWG, their experience with the utilities should be so intelligent, so frictionless, so easy that they can self-serve themselves. They don't need to call CPS, or they need to call, for good reasons, Austin Energy or any other energy company. Hey, I'm not able to do it. Versus they need to call them and say, thank you for giving me that tool. I can do it. Why we love Amazon or Uber? Because we can do self-serve. We know all that. That doesn't mean we don't want to say thank you to Amazon, and we don't want to say thank you to Uber because they give it to us. I think that's truly is what we are driving towards is, and to a point, we should provide that intelligence to the customer, CNI or SMB customer, by the platform. Hey, if I put an X kilowatt solar on my roof, or I become a part of the community solar, what is going to be look like my demand profile? What I'm going to be doing that. And I think what kind of program I can avail. If there's no matching program, I should be able to connect with the utility and somebody will call me and design the program for me, because that's the way we are all looking, is a demand and supply. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So Rudy, let's start you off with the next question, and that's on these special programs. So with data, you're able to do segmentation and personalization, and I know you have a program that's pretty cool that you want to talk about.
Well, there's a lot of programs that we've got. The fact of the matter is that my strategy is part of being responsible for the customer. We're all responsible. All 3,100 employees at CPS Energy are responsible for the customer. Our goal is that there should be no wrong door for our customers, whether they're talking to my most sophisticated executive account managers who deal with our largest CNI customers, or they stop a troubleman or a lineman in the field. They need to get to the resource they're trying to get to as quickly as they can. So our job to be able to make that happen is to really understand, how different segments of customers want to engage with CPS Energy. Some of them don't, they just want the light to flip on and they don't ever want to hear from us. Others all they want to do is be able to chat with us via, our chat feature, online, or get text messages from us when we have a message to give them. Or if they call us, they want us to pick up the phone within 30 seconds or less so they can get their issue addressed and move on, with their day. So, the kind of the secret sauce is understanding which customer segments are which, and making it as easy as possible for that particular segment to engage with us, in a very easy manner. We got to do a better job here in San Antonio of reaching out to our small business customers. That's a segment that has told us, hey, you need to spend more time, focusing on us. So for us, we're trying to give them, the account management experience in a way that works for them. We're calling it kind of a concierge service. When they step up to our concierge desk and they want to talk to us about something, we want to be able to do that as effortlessly as possible and give them the same experience we'd give one of our larger customers. So that's really kind of for the small business segment what we're shooting for. 80% of our businesses here in San Antonio are considered small business. So if that's true, then we got a lot of work to do to make sure that 80% of our commercial customers are taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. How about for you, Liz? What kinds of special programs are you offering?
So again, as a municipal government, much like what Rudy was saying, it's nobody's special, everybody gets everything. But then we do have groups that are special. But one of the unique things we're doing, and this is more for internal staff, is helping staff better decide and investigate escalations. So we have the flip in Austin as far as renter owner, and we have a huge multifamily population. And so we've got people living in apartments that sometimes get hit with utility bills that they don't understand. And what we're finding is that through our data and being able to pick apart those different apartment units and find the apartment units that are using energy at a significant amount more than others, we're finding where heat strips are running at the same time as air conditioning. We're finding where there are water heaters that are leaking and then having to fill up and then reheat the water. And so what we're able to do by using the data and informing our CSRs, they can get in front of it and be proactive with that customer to say, hey, you're about to get hit with a high bill. You might want to contact your property owner because there seems to be something going on with the systems at your property, so that they can be proactive to get something done. And if we start seeing several of those units in a complex, we can then reach out to the property owner or the property management to get them involved in our multifamily program to start doing the rebates and the energy efficiency to help everybody. So help make the data not only just pushing it out to the customer to help them, but also intern to the staff so they can be proactive in reaching out to the customer to help them and saving on bills.
Thank you. So in these great discussions, there's never enough time to get through all the questions. And Chris warned me, I cut them down. Chris warned me. So Deepak, I think we're going to skip to the last question because it's my favorite question. And we'll start with you on it since you didn't answer this last one. And it's this, I always like to end panels with the future view of this, right? Looking ahead, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, put yourself out there, make some predictions. What do you think is going to happen when we're looking at 360-degree view of the customer, and where is all this headed?
No, for sure, Vanessa. I think the future is, as we started with, is a customer centric. Customer is going to be demand more, is going to be changing more. Customer wants more intelligence. That means utilities have to have more intelligent. It has to be proactive rather than reactive. Lot of data, and I know that I love when Liz said that it's not about that much big data like Amazon or the Netflix, but the point is what we are going to be trending towards is we need to seed it today so that we have the very strong base to start with, and what we can do with the leveraging this, all the NLP of the word, AI of the word and machine learning of the word, so that our dependency is still with the human intelligence and the artificial intelligence. So I feel very strongly with the world we are going to be living in, where we are dependency on the power and the water is increasing, the demand is going to be keep going up and supply is going to be still constraint. How we become more intelligent, how we become more proactive, how we use that AI and machine learning in the future will be the game. And I feel the utilities are going to be more stronger in terms of the business model. They're going to be, and when I say powerful, not in a bad sense, powerful in a great sense, because now customers going to know that why they need to care the way they care about Amazon of the world and the Google of the world, and good reasons for that. But I'm sorry, I'm going to be more pretty much biased. I love utilities. What they do, we cannot live without utility.
Yep.
I never seen a single country in globally. I've been in the 30, 40 countries. Not a single person can tell me I can live without water and power. So this repositioning across the globe is happening. And we need to, as a tech company, as a partner with the utilities, we need to work more and more closer. We need to take their challenge out of them and productize that and give them the solution so that they're not scared to. When the list said that, I'm worried about the customer, data going in the cloud, and I'm not going to give it to somebody else. Yes, how we make it that very convenient, how we make sure the utilities understand they're not giving a data to X social media company or the company who's going to sell that.
Mhm.
They can trust all of us together, and we can solve this major demand and dependency problem we're going to have in the future together. That's where I see it. I see a great future for the energy and utilities.
Wonderful. So Liz, how about for you? What's your crystal ball look like?
So, just being able to use the data more quickly, more getting it at your hand, getting your hands on it. We're really looking forward to, as Deepak was saying, the machine learning, the AI. Our very near future is semantics and exploring the semantics, so we know exactly what the customers are saying, and not having one stakeholder representing a group saying, well, they said. We can get into the social media, get into the calls, get into the information and go, here's what they actually said, because we've got the semantics that come back. And I'm super excited about that.
How about for you, Rudy?
Well, for me, I think the approach is, continuing to keep it simple, continuing to stay focused on information that is useful, that you can turn into proactive engagement with your customers.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, we want our engagement with our customers to be easy. We want, the information that we have that available to us will help us get out ahead of a potential outage, to avoid the outage altogether if we're just paying attention to the right information. So for me, the intelligence aspect of this conversation really has to do with recognizing, what an irregularity in a heat signature means. When you see voltage irregularities, we can diagnose what that is pretty quickly. And there is no better feeling than calling up a customer who's called us and said they have an outage, and we can ping their meter. The meter pings, normal. We call the customer and say, hey, would you mind going outside and checking your breaker box? We think you may have a blown breaker. And the customer, rather than waiting there 2 hours for a troubleman to show up, flips their breaker back on and says, oh my gosh, thank you for helping me get my power back on. At the end of the day, that's where the rubber meets the road. When you can take information that's readily available and operationalize it to give your customer a better experience, then that's what we're all here for. And that's what we're trying to do here at CPS Energy. That's absolutely at the heart of our people first approach to serving our customers. We can't be afraid of change. We got to embrace it, and we have to evolve as our customers' expectations are evolving.
Yep.
Absolutely. So we actually have a question. I've got my screen down here, which I can read better. So it's talking about this person's asking how the customer experience expectations have changed and the lasting impact of that because of COVID. So what do you expect that's changed that you're going to expect to continue to see? And that's for anyone to answer.
Yeah, so I can pick it up, on that. I think what we've seen in last 6 months during the COVID, I think customer experience now is completely digital. We all realize the fact when we can't have face-to-face conversations, in person, how we make sure is our digital strategy is definitely at the core for our customer, for our assets, for our workforce everywhere. The digital transformation is speed up more faster than anything else. And I think what's happening is across the globe, what we see it, and I think this is being very helpful for the utilities as well as at the same time for good reasons. When we look at to the platform company like us is it's again serving mindset, bringing that service which was not available on the digital platform to the digital platform. Think the digital platform for the customer or your mobile workforce as your business continuity program or business continuity platform rather than, hey, I got a website and I got the IVR, no, it's no more these multi-disparate channels and disconnectivity and some use case. It's an end-to-end. And if we look in that, and I think the industry and the customers are saying, I want to do everything. And I'm just going to give you one very good, it will take 20 seconds. One of the very big utility CIO, she called me, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to give the name because it's going to be embarrassing, but they serve around 2-3 million customers. She called me on 28th of April. Deepak, thank you for having SCW platform gone live on first week of March, because if it was not live, we cannot support our customer, to the way right now we are able to support end-to-end, from starting the service to Rudy's point, proactively engaging with the customer, telling they have an outage going on and we are working on it, for digital payment arrangements. Customer were not able to make the payments. What they do, if they start calling to utilities, so that become the digital transformation become no more a strategy. It's become today, plan it, execute it. And we need a faster rather than a 3-year, 5-year of program where somebody trying to do custom builds and somebody trying to say, I can build the website, I can build the mobile app for you. No, it's a platform to get that fully integrated, whatever is available in the market. And we feel very good. And I'm not being so-called, I'm sorry for that. I'm not trying to market that, but we are the only platform which is end-to-end available, fully integrated to all the different discrete systems for the utility, because this is what we started 10 years back. We didn't change our story from a customer mobile workforce to today. This is not a story, it's a reality for us. And that's where I see that. Vanessa.
Well, thank you. The powers that be are telling me that we have to end our conversation that we're all so excited about. So I really want to thank our panelists. We all get excited about this, so it's nice to hear your energy and what you're doing in the industry. And thank you so much. And thank you to Z Prime for hosting.